Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today's November 6th, Election Day, 2018, and now the News at Noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with photos by Joe Lewandowski, courtesy of CPW and Durango PD. More than a dozen animal pelts were stolen last week from the Durango Fish Hatchery and Wildlife Museum run by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Pelts from a bobcat, Alaskan gray wolf, mountain lion, and other animals went missing between the evening of October 29th and 7:20 a.m. October 30th from the museum on East 16th Street, Durango Police Commander Ray Shoup said. Additional missing pelts were from an elk, lynx, raccoon, red fox, and 2 coyotes, said Joe Lewandowski, spokesman for the Colorado Parks and Wildlife. The glass door of the museum was found shattered October 30th, but the break-in did not set off the building's alarm, Lewandowski said. Pelts from a skunk, beaver, and gray fox were found in the parking lot of the museum, and the pelt of a mountain goat was found along the Animas River Trail near Junction Creek, he said. A mule deer pelt, badger, and Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep pelt were recovered by the Durango Police Department, he said. The pelts were part of an educational display and were not behind glass.
As reported in the Journal, today is Election Day, the last day to turn in ballots for the 2018 midterm elections. Voters can drop off ballots, pick up a ballot, or register to vote at several locations throughout Montezuma County from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today. And for Dolores County voters, the clerk's office in the courthouse in Dove Creek is where you need to drop off your ballots. Montezuma County participation in the November 6 midterm general election is already higher than the 2014 midterms, clerk and recorder Kim Purcell said. Turnout has been great. We've been very, very busy, she said. The line of cars at the drive-through ballot box behind the clerk's office has been impressive. By November 5th, 8,255 ballots had been turned in. Of those who have turned in ballots in Montezuma County, 2,401 were Republican, 1,493 were Democrats, and 1,419 were unaffiliated, according to the Colorado Secretary of State. Statewide, there were over 1.5 million total ballots returned as of the afternoon release of yesterday. This included 556,119 from Republicans, 554,809 from Democrats, and 505,496 from unaffiliated voters. Signature verification judges have begun processing the ballots, and by last week they had processed more than 3,208 ballots. Also, about 100 overseas ballots were sent out for those serving in the military or citizens who are out of the country. Voters are electing Colorado officials, including the governor, Secretary of State, Treasurer, Attorney General, State Senate District 6, State House District 58, and state and local judges. 9 Colorado constitutional amendments and 4 propositions also will be decided on by voters. The big race in Montezuma County is for 1 commissioner from 4 candidates. In Dolores County, there are 2-way races for the sheriff's office, county clerk, and county coroner. Also on the ballot for local Senate District 6, voters will choose between Democrat Quinn Unger Jr. and Republican Don Coram. For local State Representative District 58, voters will choose between Republican Mark Catlin and Democrat Seth Kagan. And the state representative for District 3 race is between Republican Scott Tipton and challenging Democrat Diane Bush. Also locally, voters will decide whether to extend the 22nd Judicial District Attorney's Office term limit from 2 consecutive 4-year terms to 3 consecutive 4-year terms in Measure 7A. Voters in the Lewis Areola Fire Protection District will cast votes on a proposal to raise the department mill levy by 1.41 mills, which, if passed, would bring the total mill levy to 4.5 mills. Be sure to tune in tonight for live election night coverage on DCTV and hopefully streamed live to our Facebook page as well. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. and the local results should be available shortly after 7 p.m.
From the Cortez Journal, Animas High School is warning students and parents of a case of mononucleosis at the school. The school found out about the case among the student body Tuesday and plans to take preventative steps such as extra diligent cleaning to prevent the illness from spreading, Principal Sean Wojtek said. Mono can cause symptoms such as high fever, a severe sore throat, weakness, fatigue, and swollen lymph glands and tonsils, according to a letter sent by the school to parents. Weakness and fatigue from mono can last for weeks or months. Severe cases of mono can cause swelling of the spleen. Teens and young adults are most likely to experience symptoms of mono. Between 35 and 50% of adolescents who are infected by mono develop symptoms, according to the letter by Etoile Henning, Animas High's health consultant. Symptoms can appear 4 to 6 weeks after an individual is exposed, she wrote. The illness is generally spread through contact with saliva, mucus, and sometimes tears. Patients with mono can limit its spread by not kissing anyone, not sharing drinks or utensils, and not sharing toothbrushes, the letter said. Animas High asks students not to attend school until they have been free of a fever for at least 24 hours without using any fever-reducing medications, according to the letter. The school sends out similar letters to parents whenever a contagious condition is found among the student body, so its spread can be prevented, Wojtek said.
From the Durango Herald, file photo. Colorado Goldfields, the Denver-based company that attempted to revive mining in Silverton, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Colorado Goldfields was forced into an involuntary Chapter 7 bankruptcy by its creditors in late 2017. Among the company's creditors is Todd Hennis, owner of the Gold King mine. On Tuesday, however, the company's creditors asked the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Colorado to convert to a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which allows some leeway in reorganizing assets rather than selling them off. This conversion would hopefully allow us to put the past history of Colorado Goldfields in the rearview mirror and facilitate our efforts to restart the facility and add jobs in Silverton, Hennis told the Durango Herald last Thursday. In 2008, Colorado Goldfields purchased the Pride of the West mill, a few miles northeast of Silverton near Howardsville on County Road 2, with the promise of bringing back mining to the historic town. At the time, Hennis was the president of Colorado Goldfields, but he resigned in the fall of 2008 and immediately filed litigation against the company. Littleton resident Stephen Geyer subsequently took over as director. But in 2013, Hennis brought actions against Colorado Goldfields that forced the company to put Pride of the West into foreclosure. He then purchased the mill, assessed at $4.2 million, for $300,000 in July of 2015 at the foreclosure auction. The situation, mired in litigation and moving parts, presented a precarious predicament. Hennis owned the land and the Pride of the West mill, but Colorado Goldfields owned the permit with the state to operate the site. In summer of 2017, the state's Division of Mining, Reclamation, and Safety discovered a tailings pond that holds milling's waste was overflowing, spilling sludge and sediment into the upper Animas River. The state ordered Colorado Goldfields to repair the tailings pond by that fall or face revocation of its permit and seizure of its $515,000 bond. But Hennis, owner of the land, did not allow Colorado Goldfields access to the property to make the necessary repairs. Hennis has said he denied access to the mill because Colorado Goldfields failed to provide its workers with insurance, making him liable if injuries occurred on site. Geyer, on the other hand, believes the act was intentional to put the company out of business. Regardless, as a result, the state revoked Colorado Goldfields' permit and bond money. The state has since used about $200,000 of the bond money to fix the tailings pond, said Russ Means, an environmentalist specialist for the division. The conversion to Chapter 11 bankruptcy is not a done deal, Hennis said, but if completed, it will allow whatever assets the company still has to be divided among its creditors. It will then allow Hennis to try to reinstate the permit for the Pride of the West mill and recover the remaining posted bond, which is about $315,000.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo by Carter Pape with the Journal, alongside regulations of top school officials, budgetary concerns, and low enrollment, students at Children's Kiva Montessori School lacked a permanent facility for the first 6 weeks of class, forcing them to start the school year outdoors. The situation got negative reactions from parents and teachers, despite then head of school Susan Like's optimistic communications. At least one CKMS parent, Alexis Cosper, complained to the school's board of directors that although she didn't mind the temporary facilities, she felt misled by Like's construction updates. The CKMS board redacted identifying information from the copy of the email sent to the Journal, but copies of communications sent by Likes show that she was the main subject of Cosper's complaint. CKMS moved into its new building at the start of the 7th week of class. The school did not obtain a construction permit for the building until August 29th, something Cosper said she did not learn until September 10th from an email by then CKMS board president Chad Fish. Cosper said in her grievance that such communication from Likes lacked truthiness. After other complaints sent by parents and a person who claimed to be a CKMS staff member, Likes, Fish, and CKMS board vice president Nate Seeley resigned on September 24th, a week before CKMS moved into its building on Mildred Road. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map shows snow across the northern Rockies and North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Breezy from the northern plains into the Great Lakes, and wet across the east during the day before drying out this evening. And also wet near the Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas region tonight. The Pacific Northwest continues rain and snow mix. Regionally, periods of light snow will continue over the northern and portions of the central Colorado mountains today and tonight. An additional snowfall of 1 to 3 inches is possible, mainly above 8,000 feet. Gusty winds may result in blowing snow and reduced visibilities. Wednesday, a few snow showers may linger over the northern Colorado mountains. Accumulations will be light and localized. And looking ahead to Thursday through Saturday, it'll be dry, and then a slight chance for snow redeveloping over the mountains Sunday and Monday. Our local DCTV 5-day outlook shows today sunny with a high near 53 degrees. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. Tonight, clear with a low around 25 degrees. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then Wednesday, sunny with a high near 53. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. With Wednesday night mostly clear with a low around 26. North winds around 5 miles an hour. Then Sunday, sunny and colder with a high just near 43 degrees. North winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. Thursday night clear with a low around 22. Friday sunny with a high near 45. Friday night clear with a low around 24. Saturday again sunny with a high near 49. Saturday night mostly clear with a low around 27. And Veterans Day Sunday sunny with a high near 50. Sunday night mostly clear with a low around 29. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald for the first time, a U.S. advisory committee is recommending a routine vaccination for homeless people, voting Wednesday to urge hepatitis A shots to prevent further outbreaks of the contagious liver disease. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices made the recommendation at a meeting in Atlanta. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is expected to adopt it and send guidance to healthcare providers. Homeless encampments can contribute to disease through unsanitary conditions. Hepatitis A spreads person to person through contaminated food or dirty needles used for injection drugs. The virus also can spread from sexual contact with an infected person. The recommendation would make it easier for shelters, emergency rooms, and clinics that serve the homeless to offer hepatitis A shots along with other services. Hepatitis A vaccinations already are recommended for children at age 1 and for others. Hepatitis A vaccinations already are recommended for children at age 1 and for others in danger of infection, such as drug users, some international travelers, and men who have sex with men. The Committee of Health Experts voted unanimously to add homeless people to those groups. The panel is charged with developing recommendations for the CDC on the use of vaccines in the United States. Health experts have seen an increase in hepatitis A outbreaks and suspected exposures caused in part by homelessness and drug use. 12 states have reported more than 7,500 hepatitis A infections from January 2017 to October 2018, according to the CDC. There were more than 4,300 hospitalizations and about 74 deaths.
Reported by the Durango Herald, photo Jonathan Romeo. A wastewater spill from the BP American production well site that reportedly seeped into the Animas River on Sunday south of Durango has been contained, according to a company's spokesperson. But a resident adjacent to the spill location, Elena Lozano, contacted the Durango Herald late Monday saying the spill is not contained. There is still oil residue and sludge running through the Animas Citizens Ditch, which is still running and will interface with the Animas River, said Elena Lozano, who has lived on County Road 213 since 2002. An emergency notice went out Sunday morning from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment that said a petroleum smell was reported coming from an irrigation ditch near La Posta Road, County Road 213, and Rancho Durango Road, about 14 miles south of Durango. The emergency notice said the spill had entered the irrigation ditch and reached the Animas River. BPX, BP's name for its lower 48 business, spokesperson Brett Clanton wrote in an email Monday that the company was made aware of the, quote, produced water leak Sunday morning and that it was isolated around 10 a.m. Clanton did not address how much produced water was released. Butch Nalton, director of the La Plata County's Office of Emergency Management, said he became aware of the spill into the Animas River on Sunday. He said he also did not know the extent of how much produced water leaked. Mike Leonard, Community Relations Manager for Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission, said state investigators did not find any evidence the spill reached the Animas River. Calls to the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment seeking clarification were not returned on Monday. Produced water is a term used in the oil and gas industry that refers to the water brought to the surface during oil and gas drilling operations to allow gas to release from coal seams. This chemical makeup of produced water varies depending on its location. It has been known to contain high levels of brine and salt, as well as hydrocarbons such as methane and benzene that can carry negative environmental and health impacts. Lozano, however, said the spill is oil. She said, "You can smell it." Lozano said BP did not notify her family of the spill. Instead, she had to learn about the situation through a neighbor. Lozano feared the spill would negatively impact the ditch and the environment. Leonard said BP had crews on scene Monday attempting to clean up the spill, take water samples to determine what was in the produced water, and find out how much produced water was spilled. Clanton wrote that crews attempted to halt the flow by constructing an earthen berm. Aztec and Farmington, which are downstream, were notified of the spill. The city of Farmington issued a news release Monday afternoon that said, quote, "In an abundance of caution, intake pumps to Lake Farmington have been shut down. Our citizens can rest assured that Farmington city water remains safe to consume." Mike Mestas, emergency manager for the San Juan County Office of Emergency Management, said the city of Aztec has also sent out a Nixle alert and advised that they were not pumping from the river. Quote, "Our emergency management office has also notified ditch users and the Navajo Nation," he said.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the nation's leading pediatricians group has strengthened its advice against spanking and other physical punishment because of the potential for long-term harm. In an updated policy released Monday, the American Academy of Pediatrics says that that can include aggression, brain changes, substance abuse, and suicidal behavior in adulthood. The Academy says research since its 1998 discipline policy led to the update. It says spanking is falling out of favor among parents, especially those with young children. While some parents still believe it can lead to short-term improvements in behavior, studies show spanking is no more effective than non-physical punishment, including timeouts, setting firm limits, and establishing unwanted consequences. The group also suggests putting favorite toys away or reducing screen time. Studies published in the past 2 decades have bolstered evidence that spanking can make young kids more aggressive and defiant. Other studies have linked physical punishment in childhood with later brain changes in young adults, including reduced gray matter and elevated levels of stress hormones. Suicidal behavior, substance abuse, and anger are among other potential long-term consequences of spanking, studies have suggested. The Academy also warns against harsh verbal abuse, including shaming kids, citing research linking it with depression and behavior problems in teens.
Reported in the Durango Herald, file photos, Senators Michael Bennet and Cory Gardner requested more funding to modernize firefighting technology for the U.S. Forest Service in letters sent to Senate committees on November 2nd, citing the devastating wildfires in Colorado this past year. The 2 senators joined the bipartisan effort led by Senators Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, and Mike Crapo, Republican from Idaho, that said there is a need for a modern, large air tanker and water scooper fleet, a technology they called in a statement, quote, "one of the most effective immediate responses to limit the expansion of wildfires." The call for funding was included in letters to the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Leadership, and the U.S. Forest Service. Quote, "The intensity and duration of the past successive fire seasons confirm the reality that the wildfire suppression workload has grown in severity and complexity due to hotter, longer burning seasons and the expanding wildland-urban interface," the senators wrote in the letters. Quote, "These factors will only worsen future wildfire disasters, so it is time that Congress and the executive branch proactively upgrade firefighting assets in order to protect the lives and property in communities facing these massive wildfires," end quote. Bennett and Gardner said in a joint news release November 2nd that the available aircraft flying the wildfire suppression missions are retired ex-military or ex-civil aircraft that were repurposed for air tanker operations, and they are, quote, outdated and limited in number. The call for funding is a continuation of an effort to improve funding for the Forest Service. In March, Bennett and Gardner helped lead an effort to pass a bipartisan funding solution to stabilize the Forest Service budget that also ended fire borrowing, a practice in which the agency raids its own budget to fight massive wildfires, leaving less money for prevention. Gardner also introduced the Wildfire Management Technology Advancement Act of 2017, which advanced out of committee in the beginning of October. The bill focused on safety of firefighters during wildfires by requiring the Forest Service and the Department of the Interior to provide GPS locations for crews and to use unmanned aircraft systems to scout and map wildfires.
According to the Durango Herald, with a photo by Craig Sherrod Photography, U.S. regulators on Friday approved a fast-acting, superpotent opioid tablet as an alternative to IV painkillers used in hospitals. The decision by the Food and Drug Administration came over objections from critics who fear the pill will be abused. In a lengthy statement, FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said there will be very tight restrictions placed on its distribution, and it is intended only for supervised settings like hospitals. The tiny pill was developed as an option for patients who pose difficulties for the use of IVs, including soldiers on the battlefield. The pill from Excel RX Pharmaceuticals contains the same decades-old painkiller often given in IV form or injection to surgical patients and women in labor. Gottlieb noted the pill was a high priority for the Department of Defense, which helped fund testing because it wanted a way to provide fast pain relief to injured soldiers. The tablet, placed under the tongue with a dispenser, starts reducing pain in 15 to 30 minutes. A panel of FDA advisors had earlier voted 10-3 in favor of the pill called Suvia, but in a rare response, the panel's chairman joined critics in urging the FDA to reject it. The chairman, Dr. Rayford E. Brown Jr., said, who couldn't attend the meeting and didn't cast a vote, predicts that the pill will be abused inside and outside the medical settings and cause overdose deaths. The pill contains sufentanil, a chemical cousin of the opioid fentanyl. Gottlieb said the drug will carry a boxed warning and won't be available at drugstores for patients to take home. Acknowledging the criticism, he said he's asked FDA staff to evaluate a new framework for the approval of new opioid drugs that will clearly outline how the agency considers benefits and risks.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Today, November 6th, over in Monticello, Utah, at the San Juan County Library from 4 to 5 p.m., there's a craft club event called the Thankful Tree. Craft Club is for anyone 8 years of age or older, and it is a free activity. And don't forget that Sunday, the 11th, is Veterans Day, and also one of the fee-free days for your national parks. So if you plan to visit Mesa Verde, the entrance fee waiver for the fee-free days does not cover amenities or user fees for things such as camping, boat launches, transportation, or special tours. Also on Sunday the 11th, the Montezuma Community Barn Dance and Contra Dance event runs from 3 to 5:30 p.m. An afternoon of dancing. Bring others with you or attend on your own. Feel free to share this with your friends. There's no experience or partner necessary. Dance to the tunes of local and regional musicians, and the caller will help guide you through. A beginner's lesson is available at no additional charge 30 minutes before the dance begins. All are welcome, and check out their Facebook page for information and videos showing contra dancing. There's tons of fun and good exercise too. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area, and of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Tuff Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.